You know, there's something truly special about this time in our lives. The kids might be grown, careers have settled into memories, and suddenly the days feel a little quieter. But here's the thing. Those quiet moments, they're filled with tiny, beautiful opportunities for joy. Maybe it's the way sunlight filters through the curtains in the morning, or the sound of birds chirping outside your window. Maybe it's that first sip of coffee, perfectly warm and comforting. But sometimes it's easy to overlook these little things, isn't it? Life after 60 can bring its own set of challenges, aches and pains, changes in routine, or even missing the hustle and bustle of earlier years. And yet, this is also the time when we have the wisdom to appreciate life in a whole new way. So today, let's talk about how to find joy in the little things, the small everyday moments that can add up to a life that feels rich, meaningful, and yes, even joyful. Now you might be thinking, joy in the little things? That sounds nice, but how do I actually do it? Well, let's start with something simple: slowing down. When we were younger, life often felt like a race, getting to work, raising a family, keeping up with responsibilities. But now we have the gift of time. Not necessarily endless hours, but enough to pause and notice what's around us. Take a walk outside, for example. Not for exercise, not to get somewhere, but just to be. Notice the way the leaves rustle in the wind, the colors of the flowers in a neighbor's garden, or the way the air smells after a light rain. These are small things, but when we pay attention, they become little gifts. And the more we practice noticing them, the more they start to add up. Another way to find joy is by reconnecting with simple pleasures, the ones we might have set aside when life got busy. Maybe it's picking up a book you've been meaning to read, or digging out an old hobby like painting or knitting. There's something deeply satisfying about doing something just because it brings you happiness, not because it's productive or necessary. And let's not forget about gratitude. Now, I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but there's a reason for it. Taking just a few minutes each day to think about what you're thankful for, whether it's a phone call from a friend, a good meal, or even the comfort of your favorite chair, can shift your whole perspective. It's not about ignoring life's difficulties, but about balancing them with reminders of the good. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What little things have brought you joy recently? Maybe it's something as simple as hearing an old song on the radio or watching the squirrels play in your backyard. Those moments matter. And as we move forward, we'll explore even more ways to uncover joy in the everyday. Because life after 60? It's not about waiting for big, dramatic moments of happiness. It's about collecting all those small, shining pieces and realizing how bright they can make our days. You know, there's something truly magical about this chapter of life. The hustle of our younger years has settled, and what's left is this beautiful space. Space to breathe, to notice, to truly experience the world around us in ways we might have missed before. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat outside just to listen? Not to do anything, not to check anything off your list, but simply to be present. There's a whole symphony playing around us every day if we slow down enough to hear it. The rustle of leaves having a conversation with the wind, birds calling to each other across the yard. Even the distant hum of neighborhood life can be comforting if we let it. One of the most wonderful ways I've found to tap into everyday joy is through what I call mini mindfulness. Now stay with me. I know that might sound like some new age concept, but it's really just about tuning into your senses. When you're drinking your morning coffee or tea, take an extra moment to really taste it. Feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. Notice the aroma. That first sip, that's a moment of pure pleasure we often rush right past. And here's something interesting. Our hands hold so much wisdom and memory. Have you picked up a hobby you loved years ago recently? Maybe it's knitting, woodworking, gardening, or painting. There's something profoundly satisfying about letting your hands remember what to do. I spoke with a woman who hadn't touched her piano in 20 years, and when she sat down again, Her fingers somehow found their way through an old piece she used to play. The joy on her face? Priceless. Now, let's talk about something we all have but don't always appreciate: our daily routines. That morning ritual of making your bed just the way you like it. The particular spot where the sunlight falls in your living room in the afternoon. The way your favorite sweater feels when you put it on. These aren't just habits. They're tiny anchors of comfort that give shape to our days. Food becomes such a different experience at this stage of life, doesn't it? Not just fuel for our bodies, but an opportunity for pleasure and nostalgia. That first bite of a perfectly ripe peach that takes you back to childhood summers. The smell of fresh bread that reminds you of your mother's kitchen. Even setting the table with care can turn an ordinary meal into something special. And here's a thought. When was the last time you wrote a real letter? Not an email or text, but put pen to paper? There's something so personal about handwriting that connects us in a way digital communication just can't match. The weight of the paper, the way the ink flows, the time it takes to form each word. It becomes a little act of love, whether you're writing to a grandchild or an old friend. Laughter. Oh, what a gift laughter is. They say children laugh hundreds of times a day, while adults, well, we could use more. But here's the beautiful thing. Laughter doesn't care how old we are. Whether it's a silly joke your grandkid tells you, a comedy show that never fails to amuse, or even laughing at yourself when you misplace your glasses for the third time in an hour, we've all been there. That deep belly laugh is instant medicine for the soul. Let's not forget the joy of giving. Not necessarily in big, grand gestures, but in those small acts that ripple outward. The extra few minutes you take to really listen when someone's talking. The compliment you give to the grocery clerk who's having a long day. The batch of cookies you share with a neighbor. These little kindnesses have a funny way of coming back to us, don't they? Nature offers us endless moments of quiet joy if we're open to receiving them. The way tree branches make patterns against the sky. The first crocuses pushing through the snow. The satisfying crunch of autumn leaves underfoot. Even just watching clouds drift by can be a lovely way to slow down and appreciate the moment. And here's something powerful. Finding joy in letting go. There's a certain freedom that comes with age, isn't there? The freedom to not sweat the small stuff, to not worry so much about what others think, to say no to things that don't bring you happiness. That lightness of being is its own kind of joy. Music has this incredible ability to transport us, doesn't it? Putting on an old record or tuning into songs from your youth can bring back memories so vivid it's like time traveling. But don't stop there. Why not explore new music too? You might be surprised at what speaks to you now. Our homes can be such sources of comfort and joy when we arrange them just for us. That chair by the window where you like to read. The photos that tell your life story on the walls. The cozy blanket your daughter gave you last Christmas. These aren't just things, they're touchstones of happiness. Now, I want you to think about this. What's one small thing you could do today to bring yourself a moment of joy? Maybe it's calling an old friend just to hear their voice. Maybe it's buying yourself flowers at the grocery store just because. Maybe it's sitting outside with your morning coffee instead of drinking it in the kitchen. Because here's the truth. Joy isn't some far-off destination. It's in these small, ordinary moments that we often overlook. And the beautiful thing is, the more we practice noticing them, the more they multiply. It's like training our eyes to see in a new way. Suddenly, the world is full of these little sparks just waiting to be noticed. So today, I invite you to be a joy detective. Keep your senses open for those small moments that make your heart feel light. That unexpected compliment from a stranger. The way your cat curls up in your lap. The satisfaction of finishing a crossword puzzle. These are the golden threads that weave through our days, making life rich and meaningful. And remember, you've earned this joy. After decades of caring for others, meeting responsibilities, navigating life's ups and downs, this is your time to savor. Not in big, dramatic ways necessarily, but in these small, perfect moments that are yours for the taking. Because when you really think about it, a life well lived isn't measured just by the major milestones, but by all those tiny moments of connection, pleasure, and peace that fill the spaces in between. And that's something worth celebrating every single day. As we've explored together how to find joy in life's simple pleasures, I've been reflecting on how our perspective beautifully shifts with time. Where we once sought happiness in grand achievements, we now discover profound contentment in ordinary moments. The morning sunlight streaming through curtains, the familiar comfort of a well-worn sweater, the soothing rhythm of rain against the window. These aren't just routines. They're life's quiet love letters, waiting to be noticed. Let me share a powerful practice I call appreciation pauses. Throughout your day, take just 10 seconds to notice something beautiful around you. Feel gratitude for your body's capabilities. Savor a pleasant smell, sound, or texture. These brief moments act like emotional reset buttons. A gentleman I spoke with began doing this while waiting for his tea to steep each morning, and it completely transformed how he experienced his days. Our memories offer another wellspring of joy. Revisiting happy moments through photo albums or conversations with old friends isn't about longing for the past. It's about celebrating a life richly lived. And creating new joyful memories doesn't require grand adventures. Simple pleasures like trying a new recipe, taking a different walking route, or visiting a local museum can spark that same sense of wonder. Our senses are powerful conduits to joy. When was the last time you truly listened to music rather than just having it play in the background? Stopped to smell flowers in bloom or fresh bakery goods? Ran your fingers over interesting textures in a fabric store? Savored a bite of food with your full attention? Consider keeping a joy journal. Just a small notebook where you record one beautiful moment from each day. Some entries might be significant events, while others capture simple pleasures like sunlight patterns on your wall. Over time, this becomes a treasury of happiness you can revisit whenever needed. There's deep satisfaction in sharing the wisdom we've accumulated. Whether teaching a grandchild to bake your famous cookies, offering gardening tips to a neighbor, or volunteering your skills, these acts of generosity multiply joy, both given and received. As we age, we gain the precious opportunity to release what no longer serves us. Old grudges, unrealistic expectations, unnecessary possessions, or self-imposed shoulds. This emotional decluttering creates space for more authentic happiness. I'm particularly fond of micro-adventures, small, easily achievable experiences that brighten routine days. Breakfast in bed just because, exploring an unfamiliar neighborhood, a solo matinee movie outing, sampling a never-tried-before food. Of course, difficult days still come. Joy isn't about denying life's challenges, but balancing them with light. On tough days, try a 5-minute joy break, one small, pleasurable activity. Acknowledging tiny victories, I got dressed, I made tea, remembering this too shall pass. Practicing extra self-kindness. Laughter remains one of our most potent medicines. Whether through classic comedies, sharing funny stories with friends, or finding humor in daily mishaps, that deep belly laugh nourishes the soul at any age. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's one small change you'll make to love yourself more this week? What wisdom about aging would you pass to younger generations? Your stories and experiences inspire our community more than you know. If this conversation resonated with you, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more heartfelt discussions about thriving at every age. Your support helps create content that truly matters to people on similar journeys. Before we part, take a moment to place your hand over your heart. Feel that steady beat? It's carried you through decades of life's beautiful complexity. Wherever you are in your story, you are worthy of love exactly as you are. My wish for you. May each day begin with self-kindness. May you move through the world with the quiet confidence that comes from lived experience. And may you always remember that your extraordinary, ordinary life continues unfolding in surprising and wonderful ways. Thank you for sharing this time together. Take good care of that remarkable heart of yours. and I'll see you in our next conversation. Until then, keep discovering those hidden pockets of joy. They're all around, just waiting to delight you.